Welcome to the MSAR pilot. This is the ER end user training. We will be covering part 1, MSAR overview and access. The ER end user training is divided into 3 segments. Part 1 covers the MSAR overview and access, where we will show you how to access the application and how to download the mobile app. We will also provide you a high-level insight as to the purpose of the application and the overall structure. Part 2 is going to cover using the mobile app, and we are going to provide you details on how to complete a DDIR using the mobile app, and then how to submit it to the server. Part 3 is going to cover using the portal, which will include finalizing your DDIR and then working with your supervisor to submit it for approval. We will also show you how to access reports and see different data within the application. As I mentioned earlier, we will be reviewing the overview and access. The Federal Highway Administration Emergency Relief and the Office of Federal Lands, Highways Emergency Relief for Federal-Owned Roads are piloting the Mobile Solution for Assessment Reporting, also known as MSAR. The purpose of the application is to streamline data capture, approvals, and the reporting of damages to transportation infrastructure. The new process and technologies we are implementing will help reduce disaster response times, improve situational awareness. We expect it to increase data integrity and transparency, and we also expect it to increase efficiencies and reduce costs across all agencies and federal highway. Here's the high-level diagram of the MSAR system. Everything starts with the mobile workforce. These are the folks that are in the field performing site inspections. They have their tablets and smartphones, and they are in the field taking pictures and documenting damages done to transportation infrastructure. The application supports tablets and devices for Apple and Android, and we also support Windows 8 tablets. One of the benefits of using the MSAR application when you're out in the field is that you are able to do all your data entry, take pictures, record GPS locations, even when you're not connected to the internet. So if you are inspecting a site and you find that you have low cellular bandwidth or no bandwidth at all and no Wi-Fi, it's okay. You can turn your phone or tablet on airplane mode and simply finish entering all the data that you need. Putting this on airplane mode will help you save battery, so we highly recommend that you do that. Then once you are done and you get back to the hotel or the office, we recommend that you use Wi-Fi to submit all your reports to the server. This will help speed up the process. Now the server is actually located in the cloud, and it is hosted by a Salesforce platform. This instance is a special hosting that Salesforce has for government agencies, federal agencies, and it is FedRAMP approved. One of the benefits of having this instance in the cloud is that it is readily accessible to all registered users via browser. So there's no special software to install. And then the other thing is that the uptime is 99.9% of the time, and it allows the system to automatically aggregate all of the DDIRs and all the information that's coming in from the field. So all the data is available immediately on reports and dashboards within the system. This is the feature that helps provide situational awareness and allows leadership at the applicant and the federal level to understand the gravity of the disaster and any other emergency items that need to be addressed. The MSAR application has rules that follow the rules that are in the field. In the field, we have a field user that reports up to a supervisor, who then rolls up to a state coordinator and a federal highway area engineer. Within the application, we have created user roles that are intended to mimic the same behavior. And today, we are going to cover a few roles in particular. We're going to cover the roles and responsibilities for the field user, and then we will discuss at a high level the automated workflows that happen to approve the DDIRs from the supervisor through the federal highway area engineer. So to get started, the field user creates a DDIR, and we highly recommend that you do so on the mobile app. This will facilitate taking pictures, capturing GPS locations, and entering high-level repair estimates. Once the DDIRs are complete and the user goes back to the office or gets access to a Wi-Fi, he or she will upload these reports to the server. Once on the server, the field user will use the portal to finalize the costs associated with the DDIR, to attach backup documentation, and add any additional information that is relevant to the repairs. Next, the field user will submit the DDIR. Will actually ask the supervisor to review the DDIR for completeness, and then the supervisor will submit the DDIR for approval through the system. The state coordinator will receive an email with a link to the DDIR, and he or she will be able to approve and or reject the DDIR. Now, if the state coordinator feels that the DDIR needs additional information, he or she will reject it, which will then send an email notification back to the field user. The field user can then edit the DDIR, make changes to the applicable fields, and then ask the supervisor again to review and resubmit. Then it goes up to the federal highway engineer, and the federal highway area engineer can also approve or reject, and the process is very much the same. If the DDIR is rejected, it goes back to the field user, and then the resubmittal process is the same. It has to go to the supervisor, and then the supervisor to the state coordinator, and then back to the federal highway area engineer. Once the DDIR is approved, then it's pretty much finalized for the application. Before we get too far, I want to share different ways that you can get help with MSAR. Your first contact for support is your supervisor. He or she has been trained on MSAR and also has additional information regarding the process and the system that can help resolve any questions you have. He or she also has access to additional folks at Federal Highway and at the state level that can help resolve any additional items. Another resource for you is the MSAR support site. You can access the SharePoint site to see all the FAQs and tips and tricks provided by the MSAR community. If you still don't find an answer to your question or your issue, you can send an email to msarsupport@dot.gov. This email has been created to help answer questions for folks that are in the field. In order to get access to MSAR, you will need to have a few things happen. First, you need to be associated with the Federal Highway Administration ER program or with a state DOT. Then you must be a registered user in MSAR, and we must have a valid email address within your user profile in MSAR. Once all those things are done, you will need internet access, especially the first time. We recommend Wi-Fi access. You will need to use a web browser to access the portal, and that could be any of the modern browsers, including Internet Explorer, Firefox, Chrome, and Safari. For mobile devices, as I mentioned before, we support iOS and Android smartphones and tablets, and we also support Windows 8 tablets. If you have been registered in MSAR, you will have received a welcome email from noreply@salesforce.com. I want to point this out because I want to make sure that you recognize this as the email address for the MSAR application. It might not be very evident. Some people might even think that this is a phishing email, but it is absolutely not. This is how the system will be communicating to you. So make sure that the emails from noreply@salesforce.com do not get trapped in your spam folder or your junk folder. When you receive the email, you're going to click on the link and then follow the prompts. You will be asked to enter a password and a security question and an answer to a security question. Once that is complete, you will get to a screen that is requesting a verification code. The verification code will be emailed to your email address, and you will need to enter that code into the page. And typically, it's a 5-digit code. Once you enter the code, you will be able to log into the portal. I want to mention a couple of things about the verification code. This is a security measure that is required to ensure that you are who you say you are. And so you will be required to enter a verification code the very first time you access the system with a combination of a hardware and software. So for example, if I'm using my work laptop and I open Internet Explorer and I access the portal, the first time I will need to enter a verification code. The second or third time, I will not be prompted for that code. Now, if I have the same laptop and instead I open Firefox, which is another browser, and I access the portal, because it's the first time I'm using that browser, I will be asked to enter a verification code. And the same goes with the mobile app. If I install the mobile app on my phone, on my Android phone, then it's going to ask me for a verification code the first time I install it. If I then go and install it on my iPad, it will also ask me for a verification code. And again, that only happens the first time that you connect to the portal with that device on that software. So next I want to talk about how to install the mobile app. We are going to go in, I'm going to show you how to access the portal, and you need to validate your username and password. Then, on your device, you will open the App Store. You will search for the app called MSAR, and then you want to select the app that has the Federal Highway Administration logo and the developer name Run Mobile LLC. Then you will follow the prompts to download and install. Let's go through this. Here is a new browser tab. I'm using Chrome, so I'm going to go to dot.mysalesforce.com, which is where the portal is. That's the URL to the portal, and I will also bookmark it so I can get back to it easily next time. On the first page, you'll see on the right-hand side that we are displaying the terms and conditions of use as well as the rules of behavior. Go ahead and click on the rules of behavior to get the details on what those are. Please make sure you read this and that you agree to them, because by using the application, you are basically agreeing to the terms and conditions and the rules of behavior. Now on the left-hand side, we have the section where you log in. If you are a Federal Highway employee or you are associated with the federal agency and registered with Federal Highway, you will log in using this ADFS link. This will allow you to use single sign-on to access the application. If you are associated with a state or county DOT, then you will need to use this username and password. Now the username will be what was sent to you in your welcome email. More often than not, it will be your email address. However, there might be times where it's a little bit different, so not to worry, just look for that welcome message and that'll provide you your username. Then go ahead and click on and enter your password. Now the first time you go through this, you will be using the link from that welcome message. So once you log into the application, you should see something like this. You will be on the home tab of the portal, and you basically just verified that your username and password work. And that is exactly what we needed to have happen. If this did not work for you, it could be a couple of things. It could be your password, or it could be your email address, in which case you can request help from your supervisor. Next, I'm going to show my iPad, and I will walk you through installing the mobile app. This is my iPad mini, and I'm going to click on the App Store. Next, I want to search for the MSAR application, MSAR. And here's the list of apps. So I go ahead and click on the one that has the Federal Highway Administration logo. And next I click on the little cloud to download the app. Once I download the app, I can click on Open, and that is basically going to launch the app. As you see, this opens the same login page as what we just saw in the portal. We have a link to enter a username and password, and then we also have the ADFS link, which is used for single sign-on. I have entered my username and password, and I recommend that you click on the Remember Me link just in case you mistyped your password. So go ahead and click on Login. So once you enter your username and password, I recommend that you click on the Remember Me checkbox so that in case you forget your password or mistype it, you can still you don't have to type it all in again. So let's go ahead and click on Login. Once you enter your username and password, you will receive an email with a verification code. Go ahead and look for your email and find that verification code. Three, 7, 7, 9, 9, and then click on the verify button. On the next screen, the app will ask you to allow access. Go ahead and click Allow. And on the next screen, you will see the rules of behavior and the terms of condition. As I said before, if you're going to use the application, you need to agree to them. Please review them and then click on the Agree button. And this will take you to the main screen on the mobile app. You have now successfully installed and launched the MSAR mobile app. I know I went through a lot of steps, so I just want to go through and recap a couple of things. The first thing is that you need to log into the portal, which is dot.my.salesforce.com, to validate your username and password. Then you will find the app on the App Store, and you will click on the app that has the Federal Highway logo and is provided by Run Mobile LLC. The name of the app is MSAR. Then you'll follow the prompts to install, and you will receive an email with a verification code, which you will need to enter to complete the installation. Now there's a couple of things that I want to cover just to make sure you're familiar with these high-level topics. Number one is that the internet access is required to log into the mobile app. So if you are out in the field and you don't have good cellular connection or Wi-Fi, do not click on log out from the mobile app. That will basically prevent you from logging back in, especially if you don't have internet access. So just know that you will need to be connected to the internet to log in. Once you log in the first time, the next time you open the app, it's going to remember who you are. That's called caching credentials. Your credentials are cached for 60 days. So if you leave the app and you don't touch it for 60 days, the next time you log in, it will prompt you for a username and password, and you will need to have internet access. Once you've completed that initial login, then you can take your device offline by putting it in airplane mode and pretty much do all the data entry that you need to do to complete the task. Then when you get back on Wi-Fi, you can enable or turn off airplane mode and sync all of the reports with the server. The last point that I want to cover is just please do protect your mobile device by locking the screen and requiring a password. This is not only going to protect the MSAR application, but it also protects the data in your email and your other apps. And just as a final note, I have a quick display. Here's the login screen, and then the next screen that comes in, which is the screen that allows access to the application. So just remember, when you're logging into MSAR, if you're associated with Federal Highway Administration or you're a federal employee, you click on ADFS to use single sign-on. And if you are associated with a state DOT, then you will use the username and password. Once you get to the rules of behavior and the terms and conditions, you have successfully logged in and launched the application. Make sure you click Agree to continue. Well, this wraps up part 1 of the ER end user training. Please look for the video on part 2 for the ER end user training. You will find details on how to use the mobile app there. Thank you.